Hi, I'm Nick and this is the TBT channel. Welcome to today's video. It's a Wednesday kind of feeling it. What is wrong with Wednesdays? They call it hump day. It's too far from the weekends. We need a midweek weekend. That'll keep us all happy, right? Now, why am I so grumpy today? Today we're going to be talking about PCPs. Hooray! I love PCPs, they're awesome. I've got a couple. Yeah, I've got a couple. They're not as much fun to shoot as a Springer in the traditional sense. It's more like a computer game. As long as it's pointing in the right direction when you press the button, things will fall over. But it does bring a whole new level of accuracy available to the table, so you can use much smaller targets much further away, so you keep the challenge. You know, hitting a tin can at 50 meters with open sights and a Springer is great fun. Not with a PCP. With a PCP it really has to be a little plaster of Paris Lego man at 70 meters, otherwise, you know, it's just too easy. So PCPs are awesome, except when they're not. Here's one for you. When aren't PCPs awesome? When they're bloody leaking. That's why I gave up on PCPs many years ago and went pretty much all over to Springers, because I just got fed up of getting all my gear in the car, driving over to my shoot, unpacking everything, getting my gun, walking across fields to where I was going to be shooting for today, only to find out the gun had pissed all its air out overnight. You know, there's nothing quite like a Springer and a pocket full of pellets. But anyway, I'm moaning. I am moaning. Look what I've got here, if I can reach it. The bad penny has returned. Does anybody remember this one? Back in May, I got this from Guns & Co. Chavonceau, just off the N10, half an hour north from Bordeaux, half an hour south from Angoulême. A customer gun. It's an FX Maverick, and it's leaking, or it was leaking. So I got it. I found the leak eventually, and I repaired it. So anyway, hang on, I've just got to pick that up. Got it. So anyway, I went to the shop the other day and I got it back again. He said it's not fixed. I said, not fixed? He said, yeah, it's still leaking. I said, that was months ago. But anyway, so here it is again. Now, let me tell you, what's worse than shooting a PCP? It's another one. I'm full of riddles today. I'm Nicky Riddle. That's who I am today. I am annoyed. Not with this in particular, with other things, but anyway. What's worse than shooting a PCP? Not shooting a PCP. Sitting, staring at the gauge for 3.5 months. That's quite tedious. That takes dedication. I have a list here. The customer got it back. I filled it. I put some leak detector around the joint where it was leaking. I put it back together. Put it back together, filled it, leak detector, no leaks, set it to 250 bar, left it a few days and took it back. So anyway, on the 29th of May, the customer noted that there was 250 bar in the tank. A month later, it was down to 240 bar. Then it was down to 210, 180, 170. Basically, long and short of it is on the 16th of September, it was down to 120 bar. So it has lost half of its pressure in 3.5 months. So rather than shoot it, he's just sat there looking at the gauge and then sent it back again. And that's fine, you know, it's fine. But the thing is, I've no idea where this is leaking from now, because the leak is too slow to detect. And it could well be that the leak is in, quite often, a leak can be in the firing valve. You know, you get a bit of grit or crap in there. And if he'd have shot the damn thing instead of staring at the gauge, that would have fixed it anyway. So what I've got now is a leaking gun. Still no magazine. I didn't have a magazine for it last time. I did some accuracy testing with this. You might remember it's when I got my ugly bug, my Reximex Meta Plus. I had that and this at the same time, and I did some accuracy testing. Now my Reximex was £500. there or thereabouts, £600, something like that. And it can put pellet after pellet after pellet through the same hole with JSB heavies, the 18 grain ones, at 42 metres. This, I'm lucky if I can hit that end of the garden. Now, a lot of you are already going to be typing away saying I'm banging FX again. I'm not. This one's shit. They're not all shit, right? Just get it out there. Not all FX rifles are shit. I've had several PCPs. I've had several FX air rifles. The most accurate air rifle I have ever owned in my life was an FX air rifle. FX air rifles are brilliant. They don't leak any more than any other gun. All PCPs will leak because they're all relying on a little crappy bit of O-ring somewhere inside of them to last. At some point it will fail. That's just the nature of it. So I'm not bashing FX, but I hate the sight of this bloody thing. So it was here, it was leaking last time. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to take that off, degas it, then I'm going to replace a couple of O-rings. I'm probably going to put some silicone grease in there, and I might even put a wind or two of PTFE tape on the threads, because I'm guessing it's leaking from there again, but much less than it was before. So all I can do after that is fill it and wait a few months. So without any further ados, do you know what? I'm sorry I'm moaning today. I really am. I've got, you can't see this, but I can. I've got a wagon, just a, you know, pull along cart thing with a very exciting delivery that came today. I wish I was talking about that instead, but no, I'm stuck here talking about crappy leaky PCPs. Right, so I'm going to get spanners on this. We're going to let some air out and we're going to see what happens. So that's done. What I'm going to do is full to 250 bar. I will top it up again in probably 15-20 minutes because it gets warm when you top these up. So it reads 250. Once it's cooled down, it'll be down to 240. So I will top it up in a few minutes, back up to 250. Then I will leave the gun cocked like that, so that I know that the hammer isn't resting onto the valve stem, and we'll see what happens. I will leave it for 3.5 months. I won't. I'll check it in a week or so's time. We should be able to see if it's leaking at all, and let's hope this time it isn't. Now I do realise I was being a bit rough on this gun, just because it's inaccurate and leaks like a sieve. It's not FX's fault at all. They didn't make it. So it is a lovely looking gun if you like that kind of thing. I'm going to admit now, I'm kind of getting into these black guns. I've had a couple. Yeah, I got my Reximex Meta Plus. Lots of videos on that. I absolutely love it. Then I got the Reximex Force 1, which is more like this design, but with a cylinder instead of a bottle. In 25 cal, running at 30 foot-pounds, and it was an absolute dream. Using one of the DNT laser range-finding scopes that adjust the ballistics and all that, I was hitting little Lego men out at 73 metres. Find that video, it's great. But Jason came by on his way to Spain and had that off me. I thought that'd be okay, because I thought I'll just order another one. Ballistas are out of stock, completely out of stock of them, so I don't know what to get. If you've got any ideas for which PCP for me to get, I'm after preferably 25 or more. Power doesn't really matter, but I'd like to find something. I've said it before, buying an expensive gun like an FX, I can't tell you anything. If I buy a €2,000 FX and I come on here and say I spent €2,000 on a gun, it's accurate. Yeah, and if I come on here and spend under £300 on a PCP and say, well, I'm hitting Lego men at 73 metres with it, that's interesting. You know, that's the kind of thing I think you want to know. So what do you think I should be testing? I could wait for the Reximex Force to come back in stock, maybe get the bottle version, I don't know. Maybe try and tweak the power up a bit, because 30 is not really enough, is it? The vols are quite big, so not really enough. I could try and tweak that a little. And the bottle version would be better for that, because it'll have a higher shot count. But there's also the SPA, the Snow Peak SPA M60. Have you seen that? That's quite a thing. They do that in 25, but interestingly, they also do it in 7.62 and 9mm, which could be interesting. I mean, a little bit more stopping power. I mean, 2.5's okay, it's got a nice flat trajectory, and 9mm's got the impact, but it's quite loopy. So I think 7.62, that's the mid-range caliber, isn't it? So what should I get next? People have been asking, so I'm going to tell you. This pump here, the GX QX CS3. Now I've been using this a lot since I got that back in May, and it has not missed a beat. It is absolutely spot on. Probably my favourite shooting accessory I have bought this year, because PCPs, I do shoot PCPs in the garden, I shoot springers as well, but PCPs, it's a pain with the bottles or the pumps and stuff like that. That's just a game changer. News on Monday night's video. If you missed that, I've got some bits for sale. First of all, the thermal unit, I'm pretty sure that's gone, because 3 of you said, yeah, I'm interested. Nobody's actually come back and said, right, okay, and said yes, but 3 people have said they're interested in buying it rather than raffling it. Same with the Moonlight scope, somebody wants that. I'm surprised the BSA hasn't gone, I will be honest with you. So I'm going to throw that open to postage as well now. If you want that, we can arrange postage with that. If it doesn't go that way, I'm just going to put the varmint scope on it, that big 44, you'll see it in the video, Monday night's video. Put that scope on it and we'll just do that in a raffle for a tenner a ticket. That's it. Has it gone down yet? No, it hasn't even moved as it's called. So that's on 250 bar. What I think I'll do is I'll change this to a live video, and I'm just going to have the camera fixed on that, and you can keep an eye out on it for the next 3.5 months for me. What do you reckon to that? No, I don't think that would be a good idea either. Friday, I'm going to do some shooting. I've got the HW80 ready. You know, I short stroked it. Did you see that? I put a short stroke in it. I've made it UK legal, just in cases. Made that UK legal. And we're going to do some shooting. And I'm going to see if I can do some fancy dancy slow motion shots of it shooting, and then we can take the short stroke out of it and do a comparison to see if you can visibly see the difference between two. And I think that will be interesting. So shooting on Friday, which will be a lot more fun than this. Like, subscribe, hit notifications. Thank you so much for watching. Speak to you next time. Goodbye.